All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, good evening, and welcome to our monthly business mentorship program, Time with the Captains, live here on TV3. It's a show that brings together captains of industries, entrepreneurs, and business leaders to interact and engage with tertiary students from across the country. And tonight is no exception. We've got our special guest for the month of November. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll introduce our captain for the month of November. Remember, this program is live on TV3. We're also live on Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook. Your views, comments, and suggestions, as well as questions, are welcome on this program. My name is Parkwesi Asare. We'll be back shortly. All right, so you're welcome back to your monthly business mentorship program, Time with the Captains, live here on TV3. Let me just quickly introduce our guest for the month of November. He's a Deputy General Secretary in charge of Football and Development at the Confederation of African Football, CAF. He's played for clubs on 4 different continents. He was the first Ghanaian expatriate player to play for the Black Stars. He's capped 25 times for Ghana, notably at the 1992 and 1994 African Cup of Nations. He serves on several committees in FIFA and CAF. He also serves as a match commissioner and general coordinator for CAF and FIFA sanctioned tournaments. He's the founder and general secretary of the Professional Football Association of Ghana. He also has a number of awards to his name. He won the Living Legends Awards in 2018 at the Ghana Football Awards, and also won the Sports Personality of the Year in 2016 at the SWAG Awards ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me welcome the affable Anthony Baffour. All right, so Mr. Anthony Baffour joins us on Time with the Captains. He's our captain for the month of November. We're also delighted to be joined by students from the Central University College. They constitute our audience tonight. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. And of course, for those of you watching us at home and also on Facebook, we're streaming live on Facebook. Do well to send us your questions and, of course, your views and suggestions on this program. Mr. Baffour, thank you very much for your time and for joining us on Time with the Captains. Let me just start off by just getting a brief journey of how you've gotten here today.
Are you talking about
how
in general?
In general, yeah, in general.
Okay. First of all, good evening to everyone, ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers. It's a privilege to be here, to be in the midst of up-and-coming young ladies and gentlemen. How did I get to where I am? Well,
from a footballer to an administrator.
Yeah, first of all, from a pupil.
Okay.
You know, because I was born and bred in Germany. My parents were diplomats, and I grew up almost all my life in Germany. And my father passed when I was 15, and we decided to stay in Germany. I'm the 5th born out of 7 kids. I'm 53 years now, and it has been a long road, and you know, one of my favorite phrases are there's no elevator to success, you must take the stairs. I'm still climbing stairs, but that doesn't mean I'm climbing stairs to hunt for titles, no. But my upbringing, I started playing football at the age of 9. I was mostly the only black kid in a white football team. You know, in Germany, back in the days, 70s, 80s, there was a lot of racism. If you remember the series from Alex Haley, Roots, they called us Kunta Kinte, Chicken George, like slave names. And I grew up being very underway tough conditions. But at the end of the day, my parents gave me a good education. I never neglected my education, so I combined it together with football. And indeed, when my father passed, I had the first offer from FC Cologne, which was roughly the same distance from Accra here to Tema. So Christophe Daum was the one who discovered me, and Rinus Michels, may so rest in peace, was the first coach to give me a professional contract. So after that, I played for various clubs in Germany, like Düsseldorf, Stuttgart, etc. I played in France for Metz, Nice. I played in South America. I played in Asia, and I played for my beloved Black Stars. As I said, I was the first to be born abroad to play for the Black Stars, and things like that made me very, very proud. I faced racism, but one thing which always helped me, especially in Germany, was the language. I speak better German than the Germans.
Oh, you're kidding.
And I speak also various dialects. So if somebody speaks in a dialect to me, I correct him with High German. You know, so if you speak to me on the phone, you will not know that I'm a foreigner.
Tell us about your educational background.
Well, I did my A-levels, and in Germany you call it Abitur, with 18. And immediately after that, I signed a professional contract. But in between, I always studied. I subscribed to sports management, event management. To be honest, I was not doing it regularly, but I was following up. And when I was getting to the end of my career, I intensified it. And even most of the time, I always had books with me. I remember my former roommate. I was always writing things down. He said, "Are you going to write the book?" And I said, "No. There's certain things which I have keen interest in," and I put it down. But after that, like I said, I continued studying sports management and event management as well, business administration, and as you see, it really helped me with life after football.
Was there a deliberate plan for you after football? Did you set out to plan deliberately what your life would be after football?
No, I don't think you can plan everything 100%. Because it's Allah who gives you the way. It's God who gives you the way. There are certain circumstances, up and downs, which you have to face, which we all face. The person who tells you that his life was perfect without ups and downs, you know, there are people who have money, there are people who don't have money, but those maybe who have money, they have psychological problems or mental problems. It's also a problem. Everybody's problem is different, but as a professional footballer, when you sign your first contract, you think it will never end. And like I said, for me, my richness was really education. And after my career, you know, I got a bit injured when I was playing in South America, and then they didn't pay you, and things were getting a bit rougher. But after that, you know, you got out of it and you learn from it. But one thing I always said that I started then hosting my own shows on TV as one of the first blacks on national TV, having my personality shows. And then I think where I got really more interested in sports management and administration when Ghana qualified 2006 for the first participation in a World Cup. And I was part of the delegation, and that made me hungry. And then I came back to Ghana in 2007. I was an integral part of the local organizing committee for the CAN 208. And you know, the way was paved with difficulties as well. I founded the Players Union to represent the interests of the players. All the big shots got on board. A lot of people compare it with former Players Association. No, it is not the former Players Association. It's like a bar association or nurse union who are defending the interests of the players and the current players. You know, my big advantage is as well that I speak various languages. And
how many languages do you speak?
I speak all FIFA language, for instance, all FIFA languages. You know all the FIFA languages?
I don't.
Okay,
Tell me about
good.
them.
German,
French.
English, French, and Spanish.
Okay.
You know, I speak a bit of Dutch as well, and Portuguese, and I believe I'm a polyglot, and these things really help you. But I never stop learning. I never stop reading. I never stop listening, you know, and I'm very outspoken as well. Not everybody likes it, and I always say I don't take decisions to make friends. I take them for the good of the business, for the good of the confederation, for the good of the game.
I'll soon get to the students to pick their questions for you, but just before we talk about your current role as Deputy General Secretary in charge of football and development at the Confederation of African Football, how did you manage yourself as a player? I'm sure as a player you had money coming in, you had a lot of resources. How did you manage these?
You see, we must always be fortunate that we have strong women by our side. I'm married since 24 years, and my wife was Kalsum Senari Bafo, and she has always covered my back. And she has always said, we need to invest, we need to buy property, we need to do this. And you know, I travel a lot. I live in between Cairo and Accra. And I thank God for her because my back is covered. And this is very, very important. One thing which is very, very difficult for players is, you see, most of footballers grew up under difficult circumstances. They weigh out the scholarship to go abroad is football, okay? They have a lot of friends around them, but they always think they have to satisfy the friends. It's not like that. I think it's even better to help a friend with a small business, so for him to cater for himself. When things are not going on well, it's the same friends who talk bad about you. So it's very important that your surrounding. Look at the hypocrisy sometimes also in our culture. If you have 7 kids, okay, you're the last born. Suddenly you earn more than everyone in the family. What happens? Nobody tells you the truth. Because if you don't say the truth, what happens? Tell me. But tell me. You're smiling. No, tell me. I want to hear from you.
Just go ahead.
No, I want to hear from you. What happens?
I don't have an opinion. Go ahead, tell me.
You don't have an opinion?
No,
then I don't have an opinion too.
So how do you manage yourself? You have a beautiful wife who supported you all the while.
Beautiful children as well.
She led you into a number of investments which are reaping good benefits and dividends for you.
Well, it's important to be well off. I'm not a billionaire, but I thank Allah for our lives.
So how did you get yourself to becoming Deputy General Secretary in charge of football for CAF?
To be honest, I don't hunt for titles.
It comes to you?
I work hard. I tell every young man and every young lady to work hard. Sometimes maybe even it's not what you want to do, but give your best in what you're doing, because the first who's watching you is God, and you build upon it. I believe that once you have a clean heart and you work hard, things will come to you. For me to climb in the stairs was also with challenges. The door was not always open for me. There are people who pretend to like you, but they don't like you. So you have to play, you have to be psychologically very strong. You need emotional intelligence in Africa. You have to be spiritually also very strong. This is pray. Prayers help you a lot. God helps those who help themselves. But if people, they only want to do prayers and they don't want to work, I don't think it's going to work. Prayers and work will get you where you need to get to. So for me, I'm also a general coordinator. A lot of people don't understand the word general coordinator. The general coordinator is in charge of the venue. Like for the Women's AFCON, we have a general coordinator in Cape Coast, and we have a general coordinator in Accra. She's like a venue director in charge of every operations, media, security, protocol, brand protection, marketing. I could go on with the list. And this is what I've been doing since almost 2009 for CAF and for FIFA. I've done more than 30 events. Club World Cups, under 20s, AFCONs, Champions League matches, most of the finals. I directed them, I coordinated them. So every time you're in a different country, you need, like I said, language skills, but also intercultural skills. There are things you can say in Germany,
you can't say Spain,
you can't say here, or in Brazil, or in Asia. So all these things is management. So obviously people were watching me. And for me, my life was in Africa. I said I want to give back to where I'm coming from. And I believe the combination I have, we're born in Germany, have a heart like a Ghanaian, but work ethics like a German. And they say I'm like a white man, you know. But you say I'm like a white man, but I'm black. So is it that only white people can be like that? No, we can do it also. If you tell me this is red, right? I say yes. I'll not say it's green. It is what it is. Obviously, President Ahmad, who I knew since many, many years, he called me a couple of times, and he even called other footballers to convince me, because for me it was never really a big option to move out of Accra. And I told them that my family is here. I can't move my family, so I jet in between Cairo, Accra, and many other countries as well. So Alhamdulillah, I'm grateful to Allah for what He has done for myself and my family as well.
All right. So I'm going to give the opportunity to the students to ask their questions. We'll take a question at a time. Please just raise up your hands, and then we'll bring the microphone to you for your question. Who's got the first question? There's a gentleman in red. Your name and your question.
I'm Selvando Squakupo. In your presentation, you talk about friends. I want to ask, how close or how distant will you give chance to your friends to come to you? Thank you.
Well, you have to distinguish. They're friends and they're close friends. You have a lot of Facebook friends, oh? I believe, who are close to you on social media. But the friends I have them since more than 20 years. They are people who also criticize me, who tell me the truth. And this is very important to me. I believe I'm a humble person. Sometimes I look strict, but when you approach me, I will give you an answer. But I'm not a guy who moves in bulks, you know. And you also rarely see me in big events, you know. So, but I mean, everybody has friends. Then, like I said, you distinguish close friends, and then friends who are where you say hi, how are you, etc.
Next question. Who's got the microphone?
Hello. Please, when you were talking, you said you give back what you get to where you come from. So I want to ask, how and in what way have you given back to Ghana?
Well, I gave back already in playing for Ghana. I refused to play for Germany. You know, when I was 15, the Germans approached me. But now, back in the days, if you would have played once for a junior national team, you could have never played for Ghana again. And when my father passed, I said I promised him if I'll make it that I'll play for Ghana. And when the youth coach asked me to play for Germany, I said, oh, no problem. I'll play for Germany if you give me one person with whom I can identify myself. And back in the days, there were no blacks in the German national team. So he told me, you're very intelligent. Today, I don't know, today you can identify more with those playing. Same like I could go to France, Holland, because that's where they have role models, you know. But giving back, there are a lot of things we do, but I don't think it needs to become public. You know, if you do charity, if you do something, I believe you do it from your heart. The most important thing is that God sees you. You know, not everything you expose.
Who's got the microphone?
When you were talking, I could feel that you are someone who likes to explore. So I would like to ask you, where do you see yourself in the next few years? I believe, well, you've accomplished most of the things you would want to accomplish, but then what are the other things you would like to gain in life?
The most important thing is my family. starting for my dear mom, who's 89 years, to have health. My brothers and sisters, my in-laws, my personal family, my wife, and my 3 kids. This is also very important, that we pave the way for them to have a good life, to have health, because without health, you cannot do anything. You see, you were talking about exploring. Back in the days when I was playing, I used to take my backpack, go to Jamaica, go to Cameroon, go to Antigua, go to South America, and I'm not a guy who likes tourism. I prefer sitting in a coffee shop, speaking to an old man who can tell you the history of the country. You understand? And I just want you to understand how I function. People ask me, what do you miss from Germany? I said, sitting in the tram. Forest. They say you have forests here. No, but the forest, the scent of the forest in Europe is different. Here is tropical. You know, you see, these are little things which make me happy. You know, so I have not planned like I want to have this title or this title. I'm not interested in titles. That's why I always say God's time is the best for everything. What you are doing, do it well. Work hard. You don't know what is coming next. If something good is coming next, you either accept it or you don't accept it. So I advise you to do the same. Sometimes maybe you're demotivated. Things are not going on the way, but continue pushing. You know, you look at people out there, not everything is gold. Not everything which glitters is gold. If you look at a human being, you don't know about his inside. You only see the outside. So that's why I'm saying I'm not hungry for titles. I hope, Faustina, I've answered your question.
Before I take the next question, there's been a lot of talk about the local football in comparison to the foreign leagues, and some have said that the competition within the local football space is dying down when you compare it to that of the English Premier League. What can we do to revive local football? Is it the marketing of the sports?
You know, now it has come to a point. Whenever you establish a normalization committee, that means there are crises in a country. Important is to have a plan in place to go back to scratch, because Ghana is a nation full of talents. I always speak about school football associations. To have an organized youth league, to build the foundation, to invest more in coaching courses. Not everybody should pass the coaching course. It's like you go to university and everybody is passing the exam. Then that means there's something wrong.
Some should fail?
No. Either there's something wrong or you're highly intelligent. Everyone. But that doesn't exist. What I'm saying is to emphasize more on the content. You know that the foreigners can come and work here, but we cannot go and work there. Because there was a problem with the content, and these were things which were part of my department. So we created the African Pro license to have more credibility. We changed the content of ABC license. You understand? So grassroots is very important. It's a foundation to move ahead. And then also important to respect players' contracts, to have a salary cap, minimum salary. You cannot stop a player from leaving. The question should be, what can we do to keep him longer in the league? Premier League is far away because they have collective TV rights. So clubs like Bournemouth can also buy stars. It's put in one pot and shared. But I believe if we focus on the details, we put the right people in the right places. It starts also with infrastructure, having good stadium managers, event managers, etc. We can move forward, but it's important to have a plan in place.
So at the moment, you don't think the business of football is being run well, do you?
I told you that there was a normalization committee established.
So there is a crisis?
No, but is the league ongoing? I'm asking you.
No.
So, but they are sitting together to work it out. But it's important to work it out fast for the players who haven't been playing for such a long. I'm a player, I will always talk for players. But now with my position, I look at Africa globally. Always have ideas, how can we develop the local leagues more? If you go to the Maghreb countries, you see they have clubs. It's not only Al Ahly Sporting Club, for instance. They have basketball, they have volleyball. Same like Esperance, the Maghreb countries are organized, you see.
So when we get it more organized, it would entice a lot of companies and even business people, entrepreneurs, to get into invest into football.
Absolutely. And there, you see, I don't like to talk always about what happened back in the days, because most of them were not born. They are now in the era of PlayStation and WhatsApp, etc. Back in the days, people used to go to the stadium from one player. They heard the name in the stadiums who before, you know. So it's important that the football fraternity, I know they have been meeting, they come out with a solid plan. You know, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but tomorrow next, it should happen.
You're still watching Time with the Captains, your monthly business mentorship program live here on TV3. Our captain for the month of November is Mr. Anthony Baffour. He's a Deputy General Secretary in charge of football and development at the Confederation of African Football, CAF. We're going to take a short break. Just remind you that we're also being joined by students from the Central University College. They constitute our audience tonight. If you're home watching us on television or streaming live on Facebook, do well to share a comment with us. We'll take a short break. We're back shortly. Thank you very much and welcome back to Time with the Captains, our monthly business mentorship program live here on TV3. Thank you very much for watching and also for watching us on Facebook as well. We're back in studio. My guest is Mr. Anthony Baffour, who's the Deputy General Secretary in charge of football and development at the Confederation of African Football. I've also got students from the Central University here. They constitute our audience for the month of November. Mr. Baffour, thank you very much. Let me just start again by asking you, moving forward with this discussion, I want to find out from you how footballers can manage themselves. We've heard stories, lots of stories about footballers who've retired and gone bankrupt. What sort of advice would you give to people who are into football and want a fulfilling life after they retire?
It's a difficult life. Why I'm telling you this, you come out from humble homes, you get to the top. You used to have maybe 80 Ghana cedis in your pocket, and now you earn, let me say, $1 million a year, right? An average player, maybe who you don't know, or I don't know, earns already 20,000 euro a month, which is times 4.5, 5 in our part of the world, which is a lot of money. And then also, that's why I told you it is very important to have good people
Your circle
around
of
you,
friends.
to have mentors as well you can listen to. You know, when you get to a certain stage, then you might think that you know everything better. You have the money, but money finishes if you don't take care of it. And I just take the example of Samuel Osei-Kuffour, who was a shoeshine boy, who went to school not to the highest level, but today you hear him on Super Sports expressing himself. He's independent. He still lives his same life the way he lived it when he was a professional player, because he has good people around him. He has invested in properties. He's built a school. He has the Samuel Kuffour Plaza. No, he called it after his mom, sorry. Around Circle. You know, these are properties which will bring you monthly income in a good location. Abedi Pele has done very, very well. There are more players. Asamoah invest a lot in businesses. And then you see there are players who have done really well. There are players who also faced a lot of difficulties and who are facing difficulties. Especially those who maybe didn't earn millions. If I tell you, 1992, when we came back from my first AFCON in Senegal, I think the bonus was $6,000 or $8,000. And today, it might be 10 times as much, you see. So every generation in its term. You only played back in the days with black football shoes. Now you have all kind of colors because it's marketing. Haircuts, different, is marketing. So you get carried away by all these things. But what I would advise the young and upcoming ones, plan your life after football whilst you are playing. Because tomorrow, it can be over. Alakiaye. May God forbid. An injury, this. You see. So, you need mentors who want the good of you. Yeah. There are a lot of managers around the players. You know, they used to take, when the player has his salary, they used to take 50% and the player would sign it because he was not that educated. You see, he will even sign a contract in a different language, which is no more allowed today. You see, emphasizing on having good people around you, having a good lawyer, having good advisors, people who have gone through the drill, people who are also independent. You know, with football also you're lucky because there are a lot of business moguls who love football. And there are a lot of them. People like Sam Jonah, Bediako, Sickens, Dr. Kofi Amwa, I could go on with the list, who love football. I don't think if you knock on the doors to say, hey, can you help me? I have a land which I want to buy in a certain location, can you advise me? Yesterday I had a good meeting with somebody who has been in Ghana for long. He's German-Swiss, Mr. Exposito. And you know, these are people who have made it in life, who always have an open ear for you. So they should use this advantage. But I want to say also that the generation now is doing quite well. You know, so let's keep on advising and supporting them.
Any more questions?
Theodore.
In life, everybody makes decisions in life. So I want to know, what's the worst decision you've ever made and how did you recover?
It's difficult to say. I don't regret what I've done. The only thing I can tell you, if you make a worse decision, don't repeat it. Don't repeat the same mistake again. Then you have a problem.
Next question.
Hello. Okay, I'm Maria, and then my question is that I learned you are the FIFA ambassador for campaign against racism. I want to know whether your experience in Germany motivated you to take up this position.
Even without FIFA, I remain an ambassador against racism. My life was, especially in early childhood, really influenced by racism. I watched the apartheid in South Africa. I read every book of Stephen Biko, Nelson Rolihlahla, Mandela, Tambo, etc., the freedom fighters. I read a lot of stories about Il Gorée in Senegal. And for me, African history, I can go back to Elmina Castle, Cape Coast Castle, where slavery also gave us foreign names. You know, I was on the task force to loot against racism. And when the task force was, we had a couple of meetings, and then they said, now we're no more meeting. I went to the men's symposium of CAF, and the president of the Guinea-Bissau Federation said, why did you stop the task force? There's still racism going on. And President Infantino was sitting there with President Ahmad and the owner of Paris Saint-Germain, who's also the CEO of Bein Sports. He wanted to talk. I said, no, let me answer the question. And I told him that racism will never end. There's even racism amongst us. Racism has nothing to do only with black and white. People call black and white mixed race. But if you're Polish and from Bulgaria, you're also a mixed race. So what I told them that they put up a 3-step procedure. And those 3 steps can lead for the game to be abandoned. And that's what I said, this is what I want. They should be sanctioned if there's something going on wrong. This didn't happen before. I don't know if you remember the Sule Montari case.
Yeah, she called him.
Yes.
You're one of the few people who called him.
I have a close relationship with most of the players. And that's where the union also came together to support. Because normally, if he comes and complains, the referee must look into it. And you can stop the game and tell the announcer to address the public to stop making all these monkey chants and everything. So racism formed me. But I didn't allow racism to put me down. And I also don't like when our black brothers and sisters say, oh, they are dealing with us like that because it's racism. No. Show them your quality. Always take it as the last step. Show them your quality first. You see? But I tell you that racism will never stop. All I want, all you want is respect. Respect. That is all.
Final 2 questions. Final 2 questions. Yes.
Yeah. My name is Eric. I want to ask, how do you balance education and talent if you are a student and still want play football?
It's hard work. You get up at odd times when you are so tired, you go and run, then later you go to school. You see, the system in Germany was better because we had youth clubs. You go to school, for instance, in Germany, only from 8 to 1 or 2. You know, it's about efficiency. And then later, around from 4 to 6, you go and train in a club. Infrastructure is also different. You could even train on the floodlights. And later you go home, you do your homework. Or you do your homework immediately after school. You see, you need to work hard if you want to combine 2 things. And you have to sacrifice. Where your mates are going out to the club, you have to sit at home and learn. Because you have to decide. You decide what you want. But for me, work ethics. For me, 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock. It's not 9-1 or 9-2. You see? And all this combined, you manage. But again, hard work pays off.
Hard work pays off. Final question. I know I want somebody who's not asked a question. Yes.
Football at first was not a lucrative business. Football in the 1980s was not a lucrative business like now. And Tony Balfour, according to you, you had a good education. So why didn't you want it to be maybe the doctor, the lawyer, the archaeologist, all those ones? Why do you choose to do only football? Or like, is that what you just wanted to do? Or do you have you had any difficulty in choosing the career path? Thank you.
It's Balfour, not Balfour. Okay. I told you that my father passed away when I was 15. And to become a professional footballer was the fastest way to make money to take care of the family. I earned in 1983, I don't know if you were born by then, 4,000 Deutschmarks, which was standard for young players, which is equivalent to maybe 8,000 Ghana cedis. Okay?
A week?
No, a month. So, you see, you shouldn't say that back in the days there was no money. Everything in his time. A doctor back in the days also didn't earn what he's earning today. You understand? So for me, I always tell the young ones, benefit from it, you see. But again, it was the fastest way
to take
care of my family. And my mom never liked me to play football. So I always escaped. I was born as a Christian, but I converted to Islam. When I had my first communion, after they gave it to me, I took it, I ran to the football field. I had a match, I scored 2 goals, and I came back to the party.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you very much. I guess that's how we will end Time with the Captains for the month of November. Ladies and gentlemen, please show him some love. Show him some love. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Anthony Balfour. He is a Deputy General Secretary in charge of football and development at the Confederation of African Football, sharing with us his experiences growing up and also being a football administrator. Thank you also, students of the Central University, for being here with us today and also for asking your very intelligent questions. I'd like to say a big thank you to the production team, to my producers led by Wendy Lai, Alfredo Kante, and Aneka Mensah-Brampa. Thank you very much, all the cameramen, for your support. Thanks to Matilda Haynes also for her great support. We appreciate all of you. That's all for Time with the Captains for the month of November. My name is Pakwesi Asare. Hopefully same time next month. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.